Lone Star Land, with boots on my feet and dreams in my hand. A little sassy but a whole lot of grace. You'll see that fire when you look in my face. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. From the bluebonnet fields to the city streets, every step I take feels like home to me. With a little sass and a lot of pride, this Texas girl's got nothing to hide. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Gummy shoe prints, laid them down the street. Chocolate wrappers hiding secrets sweet. They don't miss a beat, they've got a knack. With licorice ropes pulling answers back. Twist the wrapper to reveal the truth. A sticky web spun by a candy sloop. No sour lies can escape the grip. These lollipops.
Sebastan, sweet boy, where have you gone? The sun sets low, but we keep marching on. The wind whispers your name soft through the pines, a melody aching in these hearts of mine. Roads are endless, the nights are cold, but your story's a light we'll never let go. Where are you, sweet boy Sebastan? We're searching the hills, the rivers, the plains. You deserve better, oh you deserve better. And your army is fighting through heartache and pain. Your laughter once rang like bells through the air. Now silence just lingers, it's more than we can bear. We carry your memory, a flag in our hands. Through shadows and valleys, through shifting sands. The roads are endless, the nights are cold, but your story's a light we'll never let go. Where are you, sweet boy Sebastan? We're searching the hills, the rivers, the plains. You deserve better, Oh, you deserve better, and your army is fighting through heartache and pain. Your laughter once rang through heartache and pain.
Well, hello, my friends. How are y'all doing today? I hope everybody's having a super good Monday. Welcome, welcome. Hope all is well your way and all your health is good. Hello, Brenda Sue. Hello, Cecilia. Rhonda. Hey, Wild Child. Miss Kathy. Texas Plain Jane. How are you doing? Blue Eyes, hello to you. Hope everything's going good your way. There's my beautiful Jen in Georgia. So good to see you. Hope you're doing good. Hello, Keely. Big hugs to you. Hey, wannabe sleuthin'. Good to see you. Teresa, hello, hello. Lisa King, thank you for being here. And a big super thank you. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Who else we have? Cool Gamer. Good to see you. Hope you're good. Hey, TJ. Hey, Pat. Let's get through all these and see who's in here with us. Hello, Kimberly. Good to see you. And Peggy. Hello to you. Let me see here. Alrighty. I think we did good on that. Mama, how you doing? Good to see you. Hope I didn't miss anybody. Good to have everyone with us. Look at Teresa coming in, starting us out with 5 memberships. Teresa, thank you so much for that. That was so sweet and gracious. Guys, if y'all were gifted a membership, please tell our beautiful Teresa, thank you so much, because that was so kind and gracious. And to our new members, welcome to the South, y'all.
Welcome, welcome to the South. We break that good stuff down. Got enough to go around. So can I get a payment? Welcome to the South.
So grateful to have y'all with us. And thank you, Teresa. Hello, Nani. How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome, everybody. I apologize for not being here the last couple of days. I just didn't have it in me. You know, some days are just overwhelming at times, and well, I had those days. Hey, Kai Kai, good to see you. But I appreciate everybody that's here with us today, even those in the bushes. Thank y'all so much for being here. Big hugs to everybody. Hope everybody had a super good weekend. It was a crazy busy weekend here. Spent a lot of time with the girls this weekend. Had a good time. But not doing much else. Making some big life decisions, and that enough is depressing in itself, but you know, gotta be done. So, hope, prayers, all the things for Miss Nancy Guthrie, wherever she may be, and that her case will get solved. It's turning into quite the circus, and there's nothing. The DNA that was sent to the private lab in Florida now is combined DNA, and they're having a hard time getting it all separated out, go figure. But I bet you $10 if the sheriff there would have sent it to the FBI. I don't think that would be a problem right now, but that's just my opinion. And so that's about the biggest new development. And until there's much more, we're not going to keep hitting that one on the head too long. But today, guys, today marks 729 days since Sebastan was last seen that night at Texas Roadhouse. Just breaks my heart to think that in just a few short days will be the 2-year mark. What haunts me the most, I believe, is the words of Chris Proudfoot when he says, "This will be a case that goes down in history for everyone to study for years to come." Guess what? It's exactly what's happened. And I guess it's easy for a stepfather to say that when he has no care in the world because he still has his daughter. But hey, once again, that's just my opinion. I before we get too deep into all this, I want to go ahead and put my disclaimer up because I got a lot I'm going to say today. I need to cover myself. I need to cover you guys as well because myself, along with moderators, subscribers, and anyone in chat express their opinions. On this channel, we present speculation, possibilities, and show things found for everyone to decide for themselves what opinion they have. We're here for helpful purposes only. We're not here for drama, for hate, or anything negative. Please respect all opinions. And as always, my content is not to be used in a negative way at any time. Guys, could you imagine being the mother of this young man and 729 days have gone by when allegedly you have no clue where he is? But yet you go to Florida with your stepdaughter, have a great summer, have brunch with the girls in Florida while you're there, travel to or all the way over to Oregon and meet up with some of your family members for a little while and attend a barbecue cook-off. Go over to the Carolinas there to a biker rally. Meet up with other YouTubers. Have a good time. All the things. All the things. But yet, there is nothing, no answers for where this young man is. I couldn't imagine being that mother. Couldn't imagine how that kind of mother can do all those things. I just can't get it. I don't understand it, and I want to try to understand. But guys, in no way am I using my son's death to grift. So please, all the idiots in the background, stop with that. But I do know what it's like to live 729 days without your son. And I knew where mine was. And I still couldn't do all those things. A mother gets torn apart, ripped to pieces. And yet, we're watching a mother right before our eyes just do all those things. And we're supposed to sit here quietly, not ask questions, and don't side eye her. Sorry, but I do. I side eye the hell out of her. And all I got to say about that is I would imagine since she's not cleared, law enforcement is looking at her the same. Hi, Rachel. Thank you. Because she hasn't been cleared. They've yet to do anything to clear any of the parents. You know, we've been watching Miss Nancy Guthrie's case for several times now, and I've been following it pretty heavy. And I just thought Sumner County was all kinds of screwed up. I think Tucson Sheriff's Office might have taken the lead in the short 23 days that Miss Nancy's been missing. Crazy. Insane crazy. Lots of people don't think that the FBI is working on Sebastian's case, but friends, I tell you right now, Barnett, the name mentioned, is an FBI person. Hi, Aletha. Welcome, welcome. If anyone is over on the vertical side, the majority of chat is on the horizontal side. So if you'd like to come join everybody and chat over on the vertical side, you are more than welcome to do that. Okay, Kiki. Yeah, send me a message. But FBI is doing all the things. Sebastian has a file with the FBI. Sebastian has a file with the TBI. Sebastian has a file with Sumner County. So why hasn't anything happened? It's the biggest question of all. What do they know and what do they not know? Because obviously there's been no sighting, zero sighting, absolutely nothing of Sebastian since the night he got in his mother's car at the Texas Roadhouse and drove away. 729 days ago was the last time that young man was seen by anyone other than his mother. That we know of, right? Her, I give it 14 minutes, and that's being very lenient on the time. It's probably closer to 10-minute drive to her home from Texas Roadhouse if they went straight home like she said. But we were all learning she was home by 7 o'clock. She told law enforcement 8. So where did she go when she drove away from Texas Roadhouse at 6:25 p.m.? For her to go somewhere for an hour and a half before returning home. Plenty of time to pass him off to somebody. Did he even make it home? Because there's no signs that he made it home. Nobody can verify that he made it home. But yet, supposedly, he's gone missing from his home. The gathering place for the district attorney, the mayor, family members was in that home. All of them welcome to come and go as they please because his mother, the last person to see him, put out a story that he ran away out there. Go look out there. Don't come in here and look because he's not here. Go look out there. Their house was never treated as a crime scene. Their home, the home that Sebastan used to live in with his mother and his stepfather, the home where many CPS cases were filed in that home to the abuse of Sebastan. Lots of people want to be controversial about that and say, oh, there's one report with 5 incidents. No, not according to what his father said. And his father got a lawyer and paid to have those records unsealed. Conveniently, when you know friends in high places, you can have your records sealed up so others can't see. And though Seth, his father, who was very, very active in his life, and those are Katie and Chris's words as well, he knew nothing about the CPS cases. He knew nothing about the abuse that was happening in that home. The school knew. The school knew. School was Sebastian's safe haven, I believe, out of that home. He felt comfortable enough to talk to his teachers and his counselor about what was actually happening in that home. That house, the house where you don't step one blade of grass on their property or you're going to get into court battles with that family. Most places you live, most places you go to, they all have an easement for the city, for the county to come in and fix lines, electricity, all the things. But by golly, they purchased their easement, according to Katie Proudfoot, because she got pissed when someone walked on her property. She got pissed. We all heard it. Then Christopher comes in with blaring guns, man. He's super pissed. And she says, the PI that's hired by Seth says, okay, I'll just go talk to TBI. Oh, pissed off Mr. Chris some more. He had to throw out the fact that he was in Memphis and he was just sitting down with his buddy, Bobby Simmons. You know, Bobby and Carter. The two in law enforcement that Mr. Chris uses as threats, as intimidation. I guess he's got that little man syndrome. He's got to use other people. I don't know. But if there were those CPS cases against Sebastan, it was a while back when I mentioned law enforcement. TBI did an update on Sebastian's case back in September of 2025. I read through it all, went over it. In there, it says that there was on January 28th, there was a CPS call to the home. On the 29th of January, 2024, Superior Court judge requested all documents, all the documents. That meant every case prior every case the entire time that child had been in contact with Chris. Well, it doesn't take, somebody with a legal degree to figure out, or a criminal degree. My golly, they're looking into these CPS cases. When you have 5 CPS cases in less than 14 months, friends, that's 5 too many. At no time is that ever okay. Especially when your mommy and the judge and all the people involved, and the district attorney, even, I guess, at the time, since they all felt so comfortable in Katie and Chris's house to sit down at their table while everyone was looking for their missing child. Yeah, that kind of tells us a story. Oh, Aletha, I agree with you 100%. They should have let Seth know all about those. But from what I've been told by someone I completely trust, Katie told the CPS workers his real father was not involved in his life. Kind of helps to lie every once in a while. You get your way, right? You're going to get your way. But only for a little bit, because a lie will always catch up to your ass, won't it, Katie? So Mr. Chris is pretty pissed about all the things. Hold on just a second. About all the things that are starting to come out, and he don't want some of this stuff out. Friends, I'm going to tell you right now, that house was a living nightmare for Sebastan Rogers. A living nightmare. Pinky promise. I bet there was no pinky promises in Sebastian's life other than don't tell anyone. Because he seemed to be threatened by the fact that if he said anything, his dad would lose his job and go to jail. Why would a 15-year-old boy assume that if he told his father the truth, that his father would lose his job and go to jail? Well, we've heard enough of Mr. Chris and his anger and his venom spew that I could only imagine what he told Sebastian. And I pretty much would guess it would go something, in my opinion, like this. If you speak a word of this to your dad, I want you to remember, I got your dad that job. I will have it taken away. And your dad's going to be so pissed, he's going to come over here and swing at me, and I'm going to have him locked up. Am I wrong, Mr. Chris? Or am I too damn close on that one? You see, Mr. Chris is like a book. When you're reading a good novel and you start to see the whole picture just from the words that you're reading. The words you hear as you're reading paint this picture, and you can guess exactly what's about to happen. You've already got it figured out just from their words. But hey, we're the bad people because we're covering them and their grieving parents. I call bullshit all day, every day on that one. All day, every day. Everything was Sebastian's case. Friends, it goes back to that home he lived in. When you sit down and you look at 729 days worth of content, of information, guys, there's a common denominator, and that's that home. It all goes back to that home. Did he make it back to that home that night? His mother said he did, and then he just ran away. Don't know why he went out that door. Insinuating the front door. Funny thing is, law enforcement has looked over that footage several times, and that door never opens, and that keypad never, ever lights up. So no one from inside that home even touches and moves that doorknob for that keypad to light up. Funny how that works. So you see, KK took down the light on Saturday off of the front porch, thinking, well, this is going to just make it darker out here so nobody will be able to see. Well, silly girl, your keypad lights up, even from the inside. Motion to that doorknob lights up your keypad on the outside, and it would have glowed, but it never did. Incredible the things they missed. Incredible to me. But everything goes back to his home. So that leaves your main question here. Does it have anything to do with his disappearance? In my opinion, 100,000% it does. 100,000% it does. There is no video footage of that young man entering that house that night because Katie made sure to shut that garage door. And from the neighbor's camera, you couldn't even see if Sebastian was in the car or not. You never saw him in that car. No footage anywhere of him walking away. He's an autistic young man, and you're going to tell us he went barefooted because you forgot to take his shoes? Did Sebastian actually have two pairs of shoes identical? Is that the is that the thing? Rhonda, yeah, yeah. We're gonna listen to to something here in just a minute back towards that. But before we listen to this, we knew Christopher had a court date for his daughter set for custody of his daughter. We knew that was coming up. What we weren't told, that I have later found out, was the court case for all those files that the Superior Court judge requested. all of those files for the CPS calls on abuse of Sebastian was before his custody case with his daughter. Conveniently, how that worked. But, Sebastian went missing just prior to that court case happening, where Sebastian could have told a judge about the abuse he was suffering in that home. No witness, no case. It's kind of funny how early on that mob mentality was brought into all this pertaining to Christopher and his family. I guess that kind of played out a little more truly now in my eyes, because if you don't have a witness to testify that the abuse was actually happening, there is no case. And therefore, Christopher could go on and try to get custody of his daughter. Just think about it, friends. He would have never had a shot. He would have actually, more than likely, been locked up in jail if he was proven guilty of abuse to Sebastian. He would have completely custody and probably visitation with his daughter. We heard the neighbor that lives there on the same street that said, it was her, Katie Proudfoot. She signed a divorce decree. So was Katie hiding that fact? Was Katie hiding that? Because I would guess if she was keeping that on the down low, but yet it was proven fact that Katie knew about it, she knew her husband was using corporal punishment. Katie would have lost custody of Sebastian and would have then more than likely had to have paid Seth child support. Whereas now, there's no child support paid because they're both just working together. Well, no father is going to work with the mother of his child when she knew the punishment was going on. Come on now. Motive? Oh, yeah. Motive. Big time. I got you, Jen. And I love you. I've been praying for you so much. Yeah, there's a motive. There's a motive on both sides, his mother and his stepfather. Texas Plain Jane, from what Seth told us, all of those reports were not just on Christopher. Let me change my banner here. We're going to use some fair use, and we're going to play 5D's content that he had just recently put out. And let me get just a tad bit of music playing in the background. I want y'all to hear these words. Listen, after we've talked about everything here today that we've talked about so far, keep all of that in mind when you hear his words. Here we go.
report, they come to the house, and the lady who comes to the
I want you to listen to those words again. Right off the bat, listen to his words very closely. He showed what, Chris? He showed what? The marks?
15-year-old child, he's not real happy because he's in trouble, so he's being punished. So he shows, he makes a report, they come to the house, and the lady who comes to the softball questions. People wanted to ask me the hard questions. By God, let's get these hard questions out. Sorry, but I just.
Well, let me start.
Keep in mind, he don't want my hard questions. He's too chicken.
Okay, have you ever had CPS called on you before?
Yes.
Okay, and you don't have to go into it elaborate or anything like that. I just, that was the question that I had, and that happens, sometimes, especially when you have a child who is, has special needs and stuff. That's hard.
I'll be honest with you. I've had CPS called on me in 2 states, New Mexico and Tennessee.
And did that include with Sebastan?
Tennessee was Sebastan, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
In fact, Sebastan here, like I said, I got nothing to hide. So Sebastan went to school one day because we were at the house. He got in trouble. He didn't have a belt on. I was like, "Where's your belt?" And got it. Whack. Got him. So he goes to school and he tells the teacher. They're mandatory reporters.
Now, let's ask the question, what was so horrible that he needed a belt whacked to the butt because he didn't have a belt on? He was asked, "Did you have a belt?" "No." "Where's it at?" "In my room." "Go get it." He did. Boy, Mr. Chris, your parenting skills is a little over the top. Maybe you need those anger management classes again.
So the teacher reports it. That afternoon, CPS shows up to the house while we're actually sitting down to eat dinner. Now, mind you, 15-year-old child, he's not real happy because he's in trouble, so he's being punished. So he shows, he makes a report, they come to the house, and the lady who comes to the house is the same lady we've had she's had a case before. Now, the case that was before was something that didn't even happen, and it's like 3 stories that was shoved into one. And when they finally got it debunked, they were like, "Oh, he got so mixed up in telling one story, it mixed into 3, and it caused a commotion." Well, they canceled that out.
Now, remind you, Mr. Chris had a family member, Miss Penelope Proudfoot, who worked for that department conveniently. About a day or 2 prior to Sebastan going missing, she walked out of that department, and she is now working for an oil company in Alaska.
Up, and she's like, "Oh, hey," she's, "Hey, I already don't." She's like, "Don't tell me anything, but I'm gonna tell you what I know happened." And I said, "Okay." She goes,
The report that was made, and then what was reported, all just nothing more than a dumbass break already.
Making it sound like I was so horrible. And I was like, "No, Sebastan, you got punished, man. You got punished." And he was like, but, and I was like, "You got punished." And the lady took him outside. She goes, "Sebastan, just because you get in trouble and you get punished, you need to understand."
Parents are usually not present in conversation between CPS children, sir. And they wouldn't say sorry for doing their job in protecting children.
And when you go and you say things about people and you lie and you fabricate things and you make it sound worse than what it is, sir, you can get in trouble for that. So we had that happened, and the lady was like, I am so sorry. And I said, no, he's just a child. He's upset. It is what it is. I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he sat that back down at the dinner table and was like, see?
So, Mr. Chris, were you okay with the fact that you were fixing to go to court over all these cases? You know, that's one of those hard questions I have for you that you just don't want to come up here and answer.
Eat your food. And we went back, and everything's been fine.
I've got a question for you.
Yes,
I want to find out about Mr. Proudfoot hitting Sebastian with a belt. What happened?
That was actually several years ago, and it
To
was
Mr. Proudfoot.
Ooh, listen to Katie lying for her man. She done got rid of her child. Now she's into lying for her little man over there beside her. Liar, lie, liar, Katie. We all know the young man was 15 years old. That wasn't years ago. Keep on with your lies, though. We will remind you of every one you say.
To Mr. Proudfoot. To Mr. Proudfoot.
And you went on and talked about hitting Sebastian with a belt and kind of, you know, just chuckling about it and how the social services or child protective services came to your door and apologized to you. That got people upset. It got people.
But right, let's clear that real quick.
Okay.
That needs to be cleared up, because what was said and what people heard are two totally different things.
According to Mr. Chris, you guys are not hearing things correctly. You're not hearing my words I say. Oh, silly Mr. Chris. They are your words, right? Those are the words you said. We all heard those words. We all understand English. Silly boy.
I heard you say you hit him with a belt.
Okay, so let me finish, because that's the problem. When I go to make the statement, people want to interrupt and try to say, well, this and that. No. You wanted the answer. I'm giving you the answer. Now, when I answered that question, I told people Sebastian got a spanking. He got one lick on his butt outside of his clothes. If somebody can tell me how that's abuse to a child.
Mr. Chris, you used a belt on a special needs child. Autism causes sensitivity issues. Using a belt in any way would be considered abuse.
Explain to me.
Can you confirm when that happened?
That was years ago.
I got spanked by a belt and would.
Okay, Gray Hughes, let me just give you a little hindsight here. You're not autistic. You didn't have sensory issues like Sebastian did. I'm tired of these dumbass people making excuses for Chris Proudfoot. Think of how Sebastian felt. Quit making excuses for the people who lie to protect their life. Where the hell is Sebastian is the case. That's the point. Katie and Chris are liars. Both of them are lies, lies, lies. Just because I got spanked with a belt when I was a kid is an answer for me, for you, for anyone? It's different. It's different. I know there is a young man that has autism that I have known for his whole entire life, and that child cannot wear blue jeans because of the feel. He can't handle that feeling of the denim. Could you imagine a belt on top of that denim? Quit making excuses. I'm so sick of it.
Wouldn't spin by my
Okay.
mom for years.
So, but let's not sidetrack. Let's not sidetrack. Let's stay on board. Okay. So the question about the CPS thing that came up to play that everybody wants to tie to this belt is not what it was.
Okay.
Well, I think it was confusing because when you initially talked about it, you referred to him as an embarrassed 15-year-old. So
Yes, you did.
like it was years ago.
We thought it was like right recently.
That's what happened when you lie too much and you can't keep up with your own lies.
Well, instead of
So let's
asking
clear it
more
up.
clarification,
Let's clear it
that
up.
should have been. So, as it stands, Sebastian went to school one day. He made a statement to a teacher. The teacher reports it to CPS. CPS comes to the house. That case has nothing to do with Sebastian getting spanked. That had everything to do with Sebastian didn't like being in trouble. So he thought by reporting it to a teacher.
Once again, why was he in trouble? Make yourself crystal clear and tell us what was so wrong. If it was the God's honest truth that you told us, Christopher, what the hell was wrong? You asked him a question, he answered. You asked him where it was, he answered. You told him to go get it, he did. What was so horrible and wrong that he was in trouble?
They were going to come to the house and they're going to take me out of the house and do this and do that. That is what the CPS case was about. And yes, I laughed at it because when I explained to Sebastian, very detailed, what happened, he thought it was a joke. When the CPS lady shows up and looks at him and says, Sebastian,
I have a feeling, and this is just my opinion, Sebastian never laughed about any of the abuse he suffered in that home. That's just my opinion.
you can't false report. That will get people in trouble and you can get in trouble. And then
What?
she explained to him what happens.
What did he say you did to him?
Can I ask you, what does that have to do with the price of eggs in China
Woo!
when it comes to the disappearance of Sebastan?
Woo, woo, woo. Mr. Chris getting a little angry. And if you noticed, he still hadn't answered the question about how old was Sebastan when that happened. Let's clear that up, because your words told us it wasn't that long ago. And then your words tell us, and your lying wife tell us, it was several years ago. He hadn't answered that question. He don't want to be a liar. And let's not get too deep into those details, Mr. Chris. I mean, you've told enough lies already when you can't remember. Whew, that anger pops out, buddy.
Because I'll tell you why. Because you're wondering why people are coming at you. And it's
Yes,
because he was in your home last. That was the last place he was seen.
yes,
So-
it was.
No, correct. The last place he was seen was at Texas Roadhouse. No one other than the lion mother saw him in that home. Let's clarify that, shall we?
When we hear these things, it's like, okay, let's just clear it up and see what happens. Because I'll tell you why. Because people, I'm not saying me, but I've seen people say, hey, he was hitting his child. He reported it to his teacher. Did something happen? Was there an explosive incident that happened?
No, absolutely nothing of that nature.
Nothing of that nature, but yet CPS was called because Sebastan got in trouble at home. Guys, a child can come up to you and say, my dad beat me with a belt. Well, let me see the marks, is going to be the reply. Where did he spank you? Let me see that area. Let me see your skin. So suppose, maybe one day somebody goes to school and says, hey, they beat me on my back with a belt. Teacher's going to look. I bet you $10 that teacher is going to count the belt marks left on that child's back. Wouldn't you think so, Mr. Chris? Katie? Wouldn't you agree?
Okay.
And for people to not understand, when you discipline a child, there's a difference in discipline and abuse. There truly is a difference.
Coming from the man who could not complete anger management classes.
But I think hitting anybody with a belt is abuse. I'm sorry, I do. And a lot of people agree with me, and that's the problem.
And
So
guess what? That's the great thing about having your opinion.
Yes.
That's an opinion. That's not a fact. That's opinion.
Okay. I think a belt is abuse, but that's my, again,
Well,
that is my,
if I was leaving bruises and marks on a child, that's abuse.
Like marks on a child's back, like belt mark kind of abuse. That's abuse, you think? Just asking.
That would be considered abuse.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
So by definition,
oh, that's weird.
that's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. You can say your opinion, and that is fine, but you have to back it up and say, what I'm stating is just an opinion. There's no fact to it.
Hey, Mr. Chris, what if we got facts? What if we do have those facts? What if we have people that said they eyewitnessed those marks? Do you still want me to say in my opinion? Because in my opinion, the people I've talked to that actually saw marks on Sebastan, yeah, I believe them.
When you don't say that, you leave it open to interpretation for a lot of people to take it and run with it. That was a lot of the problems with this.
and there will be people, I can get people from CPS that will say hitting a child with a belt is an abuse. But here's the thing, you're right. That doesn't have anything to do necessarily with Sebastan and his disappearance. But what it does is it creates a narrative in people's minds that we need to clear up and change, Chris. We need to clear it up and change it. Okay? So let's do that.
So we just did.
Okay.
Well, we just did, according to Christopher Proudfoot. We just did. My story, it's a God's honest truth. Don't matter that I'm going to avoid the lies I've told in the past that you want cleared up, but by golly, I just cleared this up. Yeah, okay. We still don't believe you.
If now you did go on Nancy Grace and say that CPS has never been called, and
No,
a lot
that's not. No. Nope.
Okay, that's what I heard. What did you say?
She asked the question about a situation, and she asked me if I had ever had CPS called on me. I believe is what the question was. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't exactly know what the question was without hearing it again. So I'm not going to answer you with something without having it in front of you.
Okay,
I agree, Rosebud. It has everything to do with it. Everything to do with it. Friends, don't forget in the conversation we just had prior to his custody case for his daughter, there was a court case against him that the Superior Court judge requested all the files. That would have completely destroyed any chance he would have ever had of gaining any type of custody for his daughter and possible visitation rights. And conveniently, the one person that was Hey, I'm back. Sorry about that. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Somebody tell me what was the last thing y'all heard before it all went haywire. Thank you all for being here, even though I wasn't. Oh, it completely knocked me out of here. If somebody can give me an idea where we were, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to go back a little bit. Here, let me share the screen again. Let me get this going. Yeah, StreamYard has been crazy. Okay, we're going to go back just a little ways. Let's go to right here. Did y'all see this part? This here tells us Chris Proudfoot tells Josh at the lab that a CPS report was open because Sumner County sheriffs had to report to them because Sebastan was missing. That is not a mandatory reason to report to CPS. Were there other reasons allegedly found for them to report? Let's listen.
When I was talking to Chris earlier, and him and I were messaging, and I asked him about DCS, and he said the only case that DCS has open is because Sebastan ran away.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry about that.
Hey, Chris, Josh was going to
Yes,
call
ma'am.
me.
Oh, Lord. Lordy, Lord. Did y'all hear his wife lying again? Golly, Katie. Sister, you're making yourself look bad. All because of him. Well, no. You're making the choices. Josh asked or said the fact that Chris only said the only CPS report open was the one because Sebastan ran away. No. I say no because if there wasn't an active open case before he ran away, there wouldn't have been a court hearing coming up very soon against Mr. Chris, would there? And Katie comes chiming in like the hero for Christopher. Yes, that's it. That's correct. Give me a break.
I accidentally punched a.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry about that.
Hey, Chris, Josh.
Y'all hear her?
Sebastan ran away.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry about that.
Hey, Chris, Josh was going to
Yes,
call
ma'am.
me. I accidentally punched a 3 instead of a 2 or whatever. He jumped up here on
That's
panel.
fine.
And, he wanted to ask you something, actually. Sorry.
Fire away, man.
Well, so you and I we had messaged earlier on Facebook, and I had asked you about DCS, and you said that there were no other interactions with CPS or DCS except for Sebastan going missing, which I then told you, but that's not mandatory necessarily unless CPS was already involved. So
Now,
you're not
hold on.
really being honest.
Wait a minute. You asked me, because I'll read the messages to everybody in God and country. You asked me if there was an active CPS case on Sebastan. That's what you asked. And I told you, yes, there was. Because the sheriff's department told us that they had to report it because he was missing. That's what you asked. Now, you also started to ask if there was another case. And there was no other case that I know of that's active. That's what you asked.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Josh?
Yeah, I'm here.
So, like I said, sir, I'm brash. I'm to the point. Be respectful.
Can you hear
And
me?
I will tell you, and I'll be honest, I'm going to tell you the truth. I got nothing to hide.
Oh, Mr. Chris, I challenge you on that one. I really, really challenge you on that one. Because you're lying your ass off to hide the fact that you had a court case. And Sebastan was going to testify against the abuse. The abuse he suffered from you in that home. You are a liar.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, he said, okay. Can you hear him, Josh?
I can hear him. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Well, I just said, well, in the messages that I asked that it was pertaining to Sebastian's school, right? Like you just said. And you said, no, other than him going missing, no CPS cases.
Notice how now at this point, Katie nor Chris are talking. They're off the phone talking to each other in the same room, more than likely. Just trying to get their lives straight. That's my opinion.
I don't know. I can't hear. Maybe that.
He didn't say anything. Can you hear him, Chris? Can you hear
Hello?
him?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can now. I can now.
Okay. So you didn't ask, you asked about active cases. That's what you asked about. And I answered your question.
You did. You answered my question.
Hello? Hello?
He said you answered his question. I can hear you. Can you hear him, Josh?
Okay. I can't hear him.
Okay. Can y'all now?
Selective hearing per se. I don't know.
I think
So he's asked me, and I can't pull it up because if I pull it up, then we lose contact. But he asked me if there was active DCH, CPS, whatever you want to call it, case with Sebastan. And I said, yes, he's missing. I was told by the sheriff's department that they had to report it. So yes, there's an active case. Is there anything other than that? No, there's not an active case. So my statement that I told you is true.
Per you, Chris. Per you. You're the only one stating that it's true. And, you know, there's others that know different.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I get it, the active investigation, but yeah, but you did really. Maybe it's just because of text, but you did make it seem like there was no, like that this was the first time that they'd ever been involved at all.
No, I didn't insinuate. Now, understand something. Words on paper are simply words on paper. Whatever emotions you put behind them is directly proportionate to yourself, not me.
Oh, sir, I didn't put any emotion.
Boy, he digs himself into a hole and it pisses him off. He does not even realize he's done this to himself.
Behind it, I'm just
Well,
saying.
what you're saying, you're trying to insinuate on this show.
No.
Yes, you did, sir. Yes, because you just stated that you said that I made it sound like this. No, I didn't. I told you, I gave you a direct statement, gave you your answer, and that right there is exactly what I'm talking about. Then you called into the show and you said, no, you're lying. No, I'm not lying.
Oh, Mr. Chris, that's all you know how to do, dude. Give it up. Look at Cecilia gifting a membership. Cecilia, thank you so much for gifting that membership. I appreciate it more than you can know. And to the lucky person that got that membership, please tell Cecilia thank you because that was so gracious of her. And let's welcome our new member to the South.
Welcome, welcome to the South. We break that good stuff out. We got enough to go around. So can I get a payment with welcome to the South. Welcome, welcome to the South. We break that good stuff out. We got enough to go around.
Can y'all hear me?
Can I get a payment welcome to the South.
Can y'all hear me? Hello, hello. Can anybody hear me? Hello. Am I locked up again? Now y'all can? Okay, thank you. I don't know what was going on. I was not even on that media screen. I had already ended it. Went to the chat and it kept playing. We're excited to have our new member, y'all. Lord help us. All right, let's get back to listening to this. We're going to finish this out here. Let's listen to some more of his lies. Lies, lies, lies.
So call a spade, but make sure you're right. Now, to be honest with you, it has nothing to do with finding my son.
Oh, Mr. Chris, I beg to differ. And of course, this is just my opinion, but it is my very, very high opinion that all of these CPS cases that have happened in your home regarding Sebastan, 100% has to do with him mysteriously disappearing without a trace, without a scent, without a sight.
You don't think that you don't think? Okay, all right. Well, look, man.
How does DPS have to do with anything finding Sebastan? Because if you're insinuating something,
Well, you said they
come out
opened
and
up
say
an
it.
investigation. You said they opened up an investigation. So you tell me what it has to do with him.
Because what did I tell you? That's what you're not listening. The sheriff's department told us that they are required to report it to DCS, CPS, whatever you want to call them. They are required to report it to them. That answer has yet to change. It hasn't changed any of the slightest.
And okay, so that's the okay. I get it. So it's the only
Thank you.
open investigation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
First off, we're familiar with some of these DCS reports that have been talked about over and over again. I think it's important for your audience to know that over the last 2 years, there's been 5 different DCS reports that were filed. Those reports started in 22.
So did you say 5, Tony?
Correct.
Okay.
Are these all in the Proudfoot home?
Correct.
Wait, what? Mr. Chris, are you hearing this? Just so you know, there were 5 reports filed in your home, in the home where Sebastan lived with you and your lying wife.
Okay,
Now,
I don't think I've ever heard that number before.
So what I can tell you, obviously, we are not allowed to discuss the content of those reports.
Right.
I can tell you that whether they're in one parent's name or the other step parent's name, the allegations are consistently against the step parent. So you can have a DCS report that's filed that may be in the mom's name, but it may be regarding the environment that she is allowing her child to be in. Does that make sense?
Wait, for the record, one report was made in Katie's name for allowing corporal punishment. We're going to use that word because abuse for an autistic child would be corporal punishment type to continue. And the other 4 would be against the step parent. Does you hear that? Am I hearing the words wrong? Mr. Chris, I'm pretty sure I heard those words correctly. 4 reports against you, Christopher. 1 report against your wife, who was allowing it to continue. Yeah, that was a safe home for Sebastan. And don't forget, it all happened in that home. That home is the key to everything. And that night, Katie Proudfoot was the last person in that home.
Sense?
Yes.
And just to be clear for people in chat, Tony said that the last report that Seth could not get because it's an ongoing report has not been closed.
That's
and
correct.
Okay.
I think she drugged him and either drugged him to the point of knocking him. Because the question is how they, after we know about what happened with the whole light thing, and now we've got it confirmed for a fact where the lights went. But I know that my kids were over in the construction area. And let me rephrase this before anybody assumes anything. My kids were not standing next to the dogs when they jumped in the water. They were at the top of the hill, on top of the dirt mound, and could see the dogs from where they were standing. But they were not walking with them. They were over there in the property with them. The dogs jumped into the pond. The handler had to pick up and drag the dogs out of the water because it's like quicksand. And when he came back out of the water and they walked back up to the back of the property where our house meets the construction area, my kids were out there and asked, what happened? And the handler said he jumped in the water. And my kids were like, what do you mean? Why did he jump in the water? Well, not only did he tell my kids that, but he told my neighbor down the street the exact same thing when they came door to door asking for video footage and do you mind if we search your property? Her husband asked him, the dog was right there. Her husband asked, did you guys get any hits? And the guy said the exact. I think that Katie.
Okay, let's talk about this part real quick here where the dog follows a scent and jumps into the water. You know, there was lots of activity happening the night before in the cemetery area. Mob Crew proved that. Could people related to that home, that home, have been walking around in the construction area that night? Could one of those people, I don't know, let's say his mother, whose foot was probably as close to Sebastian's as anybody's, could she have, put on his shoes and walked around over there? Could this all be just an illusion that we're watching? Just a reenactment? A practice rehearsed event to make it look as if Sebastian ran away? He went out that front door. But you got to have something to follow when you get out that front door, right? Did Katie wear Sebastian's shoes that night she was wearing that flashlight? I'm just asking. Because conveniently, his shoes were at home, where he was not. If we're going to be over here thinking outside the box to try to paint a bigger picture, to get it all to come together, that has to be a possibility. The dogs followed the scent, but they said it wasn't Sebastian's scent. It wasn't a strong scent. So the days leading up, could Katie have taken Sebastian walking around that same path? Could they have went walking over by the pond? Hey, just throwing a thought out there.
Katie was at home, and when I talked to, Monday morning, when my neighbor that's directly across the street from their house, who Stephen actually saw today, when she called me that Monday morning around 8 o'clock asking me if I had heard what was going on, of course, at that point in time, I literally just got up and I didn't know what was going on. Her story to me by Katie was that Katie had gotten back from Texas Roadhouse, and Sebastian took the trash out, and then she was sitting on the couch watching TV, and Sebastian was in his room.
Okay.
Right. Sebastian was in his room and supposedly supposed to be getting ready for bed, whatever. Well, Katie was on her couch, and I think it was about 10:30 or so. She heard a thunk and yelled across the house, "Sebastian, what are you doing?" He's like, "Nothing, Mom. Everything's fine. Go to bed." So she goes in the kitchen. She does whatever she does. And then she goes to bed, and everything is done. Never one time did she ever mention being on the phone with Chris or doing schoolwork or anything like that. None of that ever happened until after she did that first YouTube Live with that one person, that lady.
Yeah.
So the question was, when I called my neighbor back and I asked her, I said, "Did you know anything about that phone call?" She said, "No." She never said anything to me about being on the phone with him. So then I talked to another friend of mine who lives on the street from me, who was actually at the command post. And then my neighbor, her granddaughter is in the EMS services. She was there at the command post because they had EMS there in case for the first week, just in case they happened to find him injured or stuck somewhere or whatever. And she was at the command post, and she said that they got a ping on his phone in Memphis at the RV. And she said, "Yeah, but it never moved." So the idea is he left his phone sitting in the RV so that he could have an air quotes alibi, and when they pinged his phone, it would be up there. Well, he was here, graduated from there. I know teachers in there. My kids went to school over there. I still know teachers over there, and I actually had an teacher assistant that my kids had call me at the beginning of this and ask me how much I knew. And we had like an hour-long conversation, and she said of me herself, she said, I'm telling you, they got rid of him because he was talking. CPS had reported being over here several times.
Wait, what? They got rid of him because he was talking. And CPS had been over there several times. Huh. Maybe this is something. Maybe this has everything to do with it. Maybe all those calls, maybe Sebastan was feeling comfortable enough to talk to his teachers at school. He felt like they were trying their best to help him. They were doing the most that they could do. Unfortunately, Sebastan lived with a stepfather who gave the ultimatum, it's him or it's me. He was not going to lose his daughter over CPS cases because of Sebastan.
Chris and Katie were having they were having fights in their backyard, yelling and screaming at each other. That was reported from multiple people. They were fighting and arguing. There was a neighbor close by that overheard Chris say, either you get rid of him or I am. He hated Sebastan, hated him. That was reported at school. One of the counselors admitted, or one of the teachers admitted, knowing that he absolutely hated him. Apparently, he also said it to one of his coworkers, that he hated him. He said, what did they call him? A freaking retard or something? He called him.
Yeah.
So I know.
Bobby wasn't the first one we heard those words from, right? The neighbor who spoke out that we listened to a while back on that phone call, he said the same exact words. Same exact words. About the time he was talking about spraying Sebastan with the pressure washer because he was having a meltdown. Yeah, way to deal with an autistic child there, Christopher. Seems to be you're beneath his level.
I know Chris hated him, and I think that he was causing major issues in their marriage because Katie, being the mom, was trying to deal with all of his emotional issues. So there was not enough of a central. There was a central around his house, but it didn't lead us anywhere, and we were expecting that because of his house. So I'm telling you, from the neighbor next door, when she said that they had turned in their footage 2 weeks late when she was at the command center, and they saw this movement, and it looked like there was something draped over their shoulder. That was as soon as they said, she told me, she said, I'm telling you, somebody took him out of the house. And I'm like, okay, but what I'm saying about Chris's confession to me was that to me was Chris saying that he knows if they walked out with him, or somebody walked out with him. I don't think the dogs hit that. I mean, I think that they were carrying him out.
All right, guys. Super thank you to 5D for putting that all together for us. I've talked about this before. I'll continue to talk about it because it is my opinion 100%. This all has to do with these CPS reports. Katie and Chris's marriage was having problems. Surprise, he's been married how many times? Did his wife expect him to be the perfect gentleman? No. After that many times, there's a common denominator, and it's probably more than likely him. What happened that night after Katie and Sebastan got in the car at Texas Roadhouse and drove away? I have no clue. I wish I knew. I truly wish I knew. Sebastan should not be missing for 729 days with absolutely nothing. I told y'all all before that I've been on the fence so long with this case, is he alive or is he no longer alive? I can't seem to fall one way or the other. 729 days is a very long time for a person to just be missing. But then I watch his mother and the lies she's telling to protect her husband, but yet she cares enough to leave some snacks, shoes, and a blanket on the porch. We're supposed to believe that is affection? She knew he wasn't coming home, or she wouldn't have left. So, what is it that Katie knows? What is it that Katie can tell us? Is it that he is no longer alive? Or is it that he's locked away somewhere? If they can get away with telling DCS, the Department of Children's Services, if they can tell them his father is not an active participant in his life, what's to say they didn't do the same when they put him in a home, a school, or some kind of facility somewhere? Therefore, when Chris wants to say, hey, he's my child, I'm paying for him, his father's not in his life, I want to know, what are you doing with him? What's happening to him? Maybe you need to medicate him more. I mean, it was Chris's words that he's either lying somewhere in a ditch dead, or he'll come home when he's 18, but he's going to be messed up in the head. He's going to need mental help. Are you thinking maybe Mr. Chris, he's going to be addicted to some kind of drugs? Is that what you meant? It's funny because on their friends' channels, Katie and Chris have both been up there talking, and they've made the comment that when, someone goes missing, but they come home when they're 18, there's no charges. It'd just be like a misdemeanor. Really, Mr. Chris? Because I'm pretty sure the courts will recall, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, the abuse happened while Sebastan was a minor. And should Sebastan be in his head enough when he comes home, I bet he will be able to say, this is the reason I was put away, locked away, threw the key away, no contact with anyone. Are Katie and Chris living in that house, that home? Are they reminded daily of what torture Sebastan could be going through? Or have they just accepted the fact that that child will never return? It's got to be one or the other. We're to that point. 729 days. 3 days shy of 2 years since that phone call was made to say he wasn't in his bed. But yet, people that were there that day, that saw Katie that day, she wasn't panicked. She was telling her rehearsed story over and over. She wasn't distraught. She wasn't concerned. And in my opinion, her only concern and distraught is that YouTubers won't let her live her life. Poor little thing. I guess she should have went to the news channels, the local news channels there to report her child missing so that those locally would be on the lookout. No. No, no, no. They go to YouTube. And we're the bad ones for following his case and keeping it alive. You're welcome, Katie. You're welcome, Chris. We will continue until he's found. We will pretty much know every move you make. We won't stop. And if anyone ever, ever, ever doubts the fact that Sebastan was young in mind, please remember one thing. He was smart enough to know the abuse he was suffering in that home was enough to talk. He started finding his voice. They couldn't control him anymore. And that smile, they've taken that smile away. Because you see, that night of February 25th, 2024, Sebastan was very uncomfortable sitting in that booth with his mother. There was no connection being made. There was not a tight bond that you could clearly see. I don't care how bad they want to twist and turn and spew out complete lies. We all see it. He's very uncomfortable, even with his mother. But that night, he got in the car with his mother, and this young man has never been seen since. 729 days later, no sighting of him. None. Where is Sebastan Wayne Drake Rogers? It's always been about him. I can't help it that his mother and his stepfather like to lie and get angry and get mad at people that they've never even met. That ain't my fault. It's not my words to question them. He's the reason I do it. Because she, his mother, who lies to protect her husband, was the last person seen with him. And I'm sorry, but it's never okay to just go on with life and 2 weeks later go to a barbecue cook-off clear across the states when your child's nowhere to be found. Yes, people do grieve in different ways. They truly do. I know that. I get that. But there's a thing when it comes to your child that nobody can touch. No one. Not even your husband. And there's a thing called grief because a part of you is missing. A part of your heart has been ripped out. And you're going to a barbecue cook-off? I'm going to call that out all day, every day, because that is sus as hell. I'm sorry. It just is. Guys, I want to thank everybody for being here with me today. I really appreciate y'all. I got so much with this case that just drives me crazy at times. Sebastan doesn't deserve anything that has happened, whatever that is. He doesn't deserve it. He deserves to be living out his life. He would be a junior in high school this year, getting ready pretty soon to start his senior year, his last summer of his last school year. Time for all of those last moments. And yet, he's nowhere to be found. A person doesn't disappear on their own. A person doesn't leave a home, walk out of a neighborhood with all those cameras running and not be seen. It just doesn't happen. Christopher told us he wanted to be a ninja. He became a ninja because he stepped off of my front porch and went poof off into the night. You stupid bastard. Children don't go poof into the night. No one believes you, Chris. No one believes your lying wife either. CPS cases in this instant had everything to do with why Sebastan had to go missing. That wasn't a Sebastan choice. They didn't have time to wait for Seth to take him because that court case was coming up real soon before Christopher's child custody case. He would have lost his daughter. He probably would have lost visitation to his daughter, and he probably, more than likely, would have ended up in jail for the abuse of a special needs young man. It has everything to do with it. And therefore, Christopher has to sit on panels and lie his ass about it, and his wife sitting there lying for him. If that's not a big motive, I don't know what is, guys. I don't know what is. Guys, I will be back on again tomorrow. I promise you I will. We're going to do more Sebastan because this is the week, the 2 anniversary week. It's just not right. I wish we didn't have to talk about him. I wished time would just stop and him found and we can move on. But sadly, we just can't. We have to keep pushing. And I will push everyone's buttons all day long, every day, in the name of Sebastian, so that he can have his truth be told, because there are so many lies out there. Sebastian's truth is being covered up. It's time for Sebastian to have his justice. And yet, the two people that can give him his justice are the two people that live in that house, that home, all alone now, together. Yeah. I hope they enjoy their time alone, because they're really going to be alone when this all ends, alone in separate places. Oh, but wait a minute. They'll probably have cellmates with them, so they won't be alone, right? Guys, I appreciate you all so much. I love hanging out with y'all. Thank y'all for making me feel good, coming to listen, to hear what I got to say. It really does make a difference in my life, and I hope you all know that. And like I said, tomorrow we'll be doing Sebastian again. This is Sebastian's week. I hope one of them does cut a deal, Michelle. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's the mailman. If he knows something, cut a deal. Tell us. Let us get that baby found. He deserves it. He deserves it. And we won't forget him. That's for sure. So, guys, until tomorrow, everybody have a super great night. I love y'all more than y'all can know. We'll see y'all later. Love and hugs. Good night.